Good afternoon. This is Dr. Rratnesh. Today I'll be talking about the hospital waste management. This is most looking into this present scenario. This hospital waste management becomes a very important topic where you will have a few questions or the other in regards to the hospital management. Now, first of all, we understand what is this hospital waste management. So, which we talk about the waste. How does this waste come from? Where does this waste come out? It comes either from your treatment, either from your diagnosis or from your immunization. And this not only comes for human, this is also for animals too. Or this waste may be generated during research activities or the production of the biologicals. So this is whatever your waste is generated. So now we come down to what is the percentage of which waste. So first let's talk about what are actually the hospital waste. So first, the hospital waste is your general waste. The most bulky is your general waste. Then comes your pathological waste. Then comes your pharmacological waste. Then comes your sharps. Then comes your radioactive or genotoxic waste. Now, first, when we talk about the general waste, it almost like 80% of the waste, and this actual waste, which general waste of the hospital, was taken over by your general waste management of the municipal or the concerned authority in the particular area. Now, the waste which has to be dealt very cautiously is your this category of waste. The pathological waste almost comprise of your 15% of the entire hospital waste. The pharmacological comprise of almost 3%. Your sharp comprise of 1%, and this radio or genotoxic almost less than 1% of the waste. The radioactive comprise of like your x-rays and other things, x-ray materials, whatever being used, and there are certain chemicals which are genotoxics, so they have to be dealt with very cautiously. So this was about the amount of waste which was generated in the hospital. Now, before we go into the things, so what? Let's talk about the treatment. How it is treatment. The most easiest way is incineration. Incineration is nothing else but your heating to a very high temperature, as high as 2500 degrees centigrade to 3500 degree. Now, what is the important thing here is the moisture content we talk about, and this is the most favorite question. The moisture content should be less than 30%. And the combustible material we talk about should be at least 60%. It should not be less than 60%. This has to be 60 or more than 60%. Then the non-combustible material we talk about, the non-combustible material will comprise of almost 5%. Then you have something called as the non-combustible fines. Non-combustible fines, they comprise almost like 20%. So the moisture, most important point here is the combustible material has to be more than 60%, and the moisture content should be less than 30% in order to go for your incineration. Now we talk about the different other ways is the chemical disinfection. What do we do with the chemical disinfection? The three important things where you go for the chemical disinfection. The chemical disinfection, we talk about the chemical disinfection. The most important thing is your sputa or your sputum. Second important thing is your blood or blood staining. Third is your the feces or the urine. This is the most important thing. Now there are questions which are being asked: what sputum is used for, how it is disinfected. The chemical which is like creosoles or neutral disinfectants. Neutral disinfectants means the detergents which you use along with water. So sputums, the important thing is your creosoles or the neutral disinfectants. Then we talk about the blood. It is like 0.5%, like 0.5%, 5% sodium hypochlorite. So whatever the blood staining, it is done with sodium hypochlorite, and this is like 0.5% of the sodium hypochlorite. Then it is again urine. You have creosoles and formalin. If you do not have the creosoles, then the most general other used things are quicklime with water. As far as feces is concerned, you can take 1 part of quicklime with 4 parts of water. You make a solution to it, and then you can use it as a chemical disinfect that particular material. Then you have wet thermal. The wet thermal, when we talk about the wet thermal, and this is away from your incineration. The wet thermal process is based on high temperature and high pressure. This is like high temperature and high pressure. So this is like wet thermal, high temperature and high pressure. Then you have Microsoft irradiation. The Microsoft irradiation, that is your the waves are being sent, and these waves usually transmit. So what is the important point here is the frequency and the wavelength. The frequency is like 2450 megahertz. So this is the frequency which we are looking at, 2450, and the wavelength is like 12.24 nanometer. 12.24 nanometer. This is the frequency and this is the wavelength. This is the only important point which can be asked in your. Then you have land disposals. Nothing to talk about. This the lands which are seen, and then the most important other thing is inertization. Now this inertization process involves mixing and making the solid things. Now what do you have? You mix your pharmacological waste with lime. And how much is your pharmacological waste? This is pharmacological waste. It was 65% mixing with 15% of lime, and then you mixed water and cement to it. Now the 15% lime along with 15% cement and 5% water, 15% and 5%, that makes 3500. Okay, so this pharmacological waste is 65%, 15% is your lime, 5% is your water, and 5%. Then you make a sort of solid bricks, and these solid bricks are being disposed of, and this process is known as inertization. Now as far as the disposal of the waste was concerned, now we talk about the biomedical waste. The biomedical waste we talk about is like what are first should I write about the biomedical waste. Now, disposal of these waste, you had rules starting in 1998. Now you have fresh rules which we govern as 2016. So the important point here lies is the disposal of the waste and treatment of the waste. First important lies the treatment. So before you need to dispose of this waste, you need to be very careful to which thing to be thrown in which waste bag. So the first important thing is what color bags you have. You have four color bags. The first we'll talk about is your the red color bag, then you have yellow, then you have white, then you have blue. Initially you had something called as black, which do not exist actually in your hospital waste management. So we need to, and this is a puncture proof, and this is cardboard. So the blue color box basically is your for cardboard, because in this we begin from here, because in this only the sharps, sorry, the implants and your glass, broken glasses, etc. are being thrown away. So this is for cardboard box. Whereas the white, which is your puncture proof, so basically the sharp items, whatever your needles, syringes, blades, whatever which come under the category of sharp, which can cut, so this is be thrown into the white bag, and this white bags you remember as whites. When I remember as whites, S stands for sharp. So this is you get it. Or for remembering blue, you can write it as give me blue, give me blue. So you'll come here as glasses and implants. Glasses and implants come under